In time, every young boy must grow up to fill his mother's shoes. I don't think that's a saying. In fact, the United Kingdom celebrated last weekend with the coronation of King Charles III. Here to celebrate the scam of the last several centuries, the British monarchy, it's the host of the Scam Goddess podcast herself. Welcome back, Laci Mosley. Hi. Welcome. Thanks for being here. Good to see you too.
Yes, I should hold it up to my mouth, right? Hello.
Is there a bigger scam than the coronation?
Absolutely not. They threw this party for millions of dollars for the oldest man, like, to walk around with the worst drip I've ever seen in my fucking life. And it's like, this is who we looking up to? This is royalty? Like, come on, let's be so serious and for real. And like, they've lived off of, the people for forever. And they're like, no, we got to keep doing it because it's tourism, y'all. We a living museum. And now they really look like a museum.
I think it's cool that Charles has been thinking about becoming king for 70 years. And I just when I was a little kid, if I pictured a king, they had a big old crown and one of those fur capes with the little dots, like the white thing with the little dots. And that was the thing. And I like that that's what Charles has been imagining since he was a little boy too. It was a real thing that a king has always wanted. And he's like, I'm gonna have one of those things, those furs with the little dots. Do you know what those are?
I don't know what they're called.
Do anyone know what those are? What? What are they? Ermine?
Ermine?
Ermine.
Ermine.
Ermine. They sound vicious.
I was just it's a cape, but I always think, now that you say waiting to be king since a little boy, I'm thinking of Simba in The Lion King, but Simba's just the most scraggly old ass lion when he becomes king. That's Charles.
Yeah, Scar was on Jeffrey Epstein's plane. Checks out.
It works.
Checks
It works.
Charles opted to use a lot of historic and religious iconography, he was trying to get the monarchy back to its roots. Do you think it's silly, or do you think it's a king playing the hits?
It was so fucking dumb. I saw them singing to a rock that came from Scotland. So not even they rock. And I mean, it harkens back to the British Museum when they look at all this shit we stole. They don't got nothing cool. I once researched a scam that was about Britain, pretending that they found the first man, but it was actually some monkey bones and some other shit that they put together, but they didn't have anything to put them on the map culturally, so they were we got to do something.
Quick, fetch the monkey bones.
Yeah. So I don't think the religious iconography is gonna work on the girls. I mean, we saw the photos.
Have you seen the Meghan Markle conspiracy theory about the coronation?
I have.
Can we show that photo? On the left we have Meghan Markle. On the right we have Meghan Markle, or Sir Carl Jenkins, if you can believe that.
I love this conspiracy theory because it really leans into the fact that British women want Meghan Markle to be ugly so bad. They've been wanting her to be ugly since they saw her for the first time with Prince Harry. And they were like, this is a bad bitch. How do we ruin her? She's so sexy. So they're like, yeah, we want her to look like that so we can hate her more. But it's not her. Why would she do that? She is a black woman who is rich as fuck, married to royalty, knows Oprah, Tyler Perry personally. She was hiking and doing photo ops.
You don't have to sneak into things. You choose not to attend even though you were invited.
Yeah.
That's not a thing.
No.
It doesn't make any sense. She doesn't need to sneak in. What is she? Now, if Sir Carl Jenkins had jumped up and taken a big old shit in the aisle at Westminster and then ran away screaming, I'm Carl Jenkins, I'd have been okay.
Yeah.
Especially if the scream, I'm Carl Jenkins, sounded like someone from the show Suits.
You're right. I mean, honestly, I kind of wish that she would have snuck in as Carl Jenkins and maybe did an old-fashioned stoning. We should bring stoning back. Just tiny rocks and just threw them at Charles until she got kicked out.
Sure.
You can get into a church with rocks in your pocket. Ain't nobody checking for rocks.
They're not, and they're not checking for rocks. And more people are realizing that. I got a little caught as we should bring stoning back. Usually that comes from the other side. It's usually not. I'm not usually like, yeah, what a good point. We should bring stoning back. Usually it's like the people they want to throw rocks at.
Yeah, no.
They're us.
It's like women who are smart or like a witch.
Now, the coronation was also a moment of celebration of the side chick.
What a way to put it.
That's what it says on the card. Your thoughts on Camilla, who's now the queen consort? I mean, she pulled a scam like none other.
Woo! I mean, look, Camilla's evil, but you have to appreciate a little bit of it, okay? Because this bitch played the long game, okay? She stayed alive for this shit, okay? Like, she was going to get her mammogram. She was going to get her checkup. She was like, bitch, I will live to be queen, okay? Don't you worry about that, okay? We will be breathing. And I mean, she was fucking with Diana. She was fucking with him. She was being his bloody tampon, or he was her bloody tampon. I don't know. She worked it. I feel like Camilla can work the dick. I feel like she's definitely.
No, I think it's amazing. I think it's amazing that like 40 years ago, these two people met and the queen was like, it won't work. It'll be bad for us. I have another idea. Oh no! And then she just waited them all out.
Waited them out. And you know what's funny? I never thought that Charles would become king because I thought that Queen Elizabeth just would not die. Like, she just at one point was refusing to die. Like, people were reporting that she was dead, and she was like, "No, I'm not, bitch." Like, but you bring up a good point because the queen was blocking everybody's relationships. Like, the queen was the biggest relationship hater. She married her fucking cousin. But then she was like, no, my sister can't marry this person. My son can't marry this person. Like, she blocked everybody.
And it didn't work. Because look who's queen consort now.
Yeah, look who's dancing on your grave now. Camilla.
Have you seen Charles's fingers?
Whew. My baloney has a first name. I don't understand how this is possible. Like, is it just that is he too rich to drink water? Does it have to, you know what I mean? Is it like, is he like on that ship in Triangle of Sadness where it's like, no water, champagne only? Like, I don't want to, it's so hard for me because on one hand, I don't want to body shame big-handed people not. Because like, if you got some thick ass, swollen ass hands, like, I don't want you to catch some strays, but like, he's so evil that I gotta talk shit about this. I'm so sorry. And you know what was crazy to me? That at the coronation, they had a close-up of his finger touching the ring. And I was like, why would y'all do y'all boy like that? Y'all gonna zoom in 4K when y'all know what his hands look like?
I mean, it's just, I can't look away. Like, is it?
Also, we live in a time now that you can I've had a foot double before because I have a wiki feet, so fuck, they got my raw toes, but I didn't want them zoomed in on. So I'm like, why couldn't they cut away and it was like some dude like with normal hands touching the ring and then they cut back.
Just like completely not matching arms.
Yeah, we have the technology.
we have the technology. I mean, look at these things. Incredible hands. Ooh. I mean, they're just incredible.
Oof.
That's what happens to your hands when you go on a hike and you get dehydrated and you get to the top of the mountain and you're very hot and you have to drink a bunch of water and you look down at your hands and you're like, your fist's not closing. Does that ever happen to anybody?
Yeah, it's like a spider bite. I feel like I would think I had a spider bite every day. But also now I'm thinking something super weird. I'm so sorry, but I'm like, is Camilla getting fingered with these hands?
You know what's, it's,
like, he gonna have to use the pinky just
Happy Mother's Day, Mom. This is our Mother's Day episode, and my mother never misses.
I'm gonna regret that.
No, it's fine. It's good.
I love it.
And finally, Laci, we have a game that's honestly nearly impossible to win. It was inspired by the truly unbelievable items we saw incorporated into the coronation. We're calling the game Charles and Camilla and Dragons. Here's how it works.
Okay.
I'm going to name an absolutely wild item, and you must tell us, is this a piece of real-life coronation regalia, or is it an item from the fantasy role-playing tabletop game Dungeons & Dragons?
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Cortana, the Sword of Mercy.
I'm going to say that's royal. That's royal.
That is royal. It was crafted by bladesmiths centuries ago. This sword represents mercy by being intentionally blunting. It is real and from the coronation.
It's very goofy. That's what they do. Like they should have put those photos of themselves in black and white. Like slap an inkwell filter on it from Instagram or something because it looks real goofy in color. So this makes sense. Very goofy.
Next up, the emerald pen. This pen is tipped with an emerald nib and actually requires no ink to write.
Okay. The only reason I'm gonna say this is Dungeons and Dragons because I've seen Prince Charles get real mad when his pen wasn't working. So when he was becoming king and whatnot. So I'm gonna say Dungeons and Dragons.
Correct. While holding this pen, you can create an illusory script at will, which is a spell that also allows the writer to encode messages. There's also a documentary where Charles, if like he like crumpled up a piece of paper and threw it in the garbage, but he missed, he would call somebody. That rules. Rules.
That honestly fucks. I kind of like that.
Those hands don't reach down and pick something up from the ground and throw them in the garbage.
No,
he calls somebody. When he gets upset about the pen, it's like that is a man that has been waiting for his mother to die for 70 years.
You're absolutely right about that. Everything frustrates him now. He was just screaming because Bic didn't pull up. Like, I love it.
The Shard of Shaluan.
Okay, the Shard of Shaluan, it sounds like something that they stole from another country and then pretended that the country donated it to them. I'm gonna have to say Coronation.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Damn!
This 1 foot long shard of obsidian has veins of silver and gold beneath its surface and was stolen from an ancient tomb. Holding the shard, you can use it as a spell casting focus.
I'm learning so much.
It can't raise your strength above 22.
I've never played D&D. Maybe I should start. It's not a clap.
Malcolm plays D&D.
I want to play. Oh, wait. And you're black. I heard there's not a lot of us. Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to come. I feel like it would be lit. Yeah. Y'all would have to explain everything to me, though. And I would be asking hella questions, and I would be cheating as well. I would find a way to cheat.
She's going to scan. Yeah, I mean, that checks out. The Black Prince's Ruby.
I mean, it's a jewel. They steal hella jewels. Yes, gotta be Coronation.
Correct.
Yeah.
Originally given to the Black Prince, the Black Prince's Ruby sits atop the imperial state crown. The Black Prince was Edward of Woodstock, and he got the sword in 1367.
That crown is so goofy, and you know it is so heavy, and yet their elderly necks were just like, please, no more. Like, remember when they put it on Camilla and she literally looked like she was about to melt into the chair?
They don't. You know, I got to say, it is a classic example of they're not wearing drag, the drag is wearing them. You know what I mean?
Yes!
They look like those episodes. Camilla and Charles look like those episodes where the drag queens dress up the cameramen.
Yes.
And there's just these burly teamsters wandering around like in their high-heeled shoes being like, actually, you know what? This is making me feel kind of free and fun. That's what they're like.
That's what it's given. They're like, we support the teachers. So then they put the teachers in drag. And the teachers are like, I get it now. They took away my eyebrows. It's definitely that. Or you know what? Game of Thrones. Remember when Blondie? Okay, so the girl who wrote on the dragon. What was her name? Daenerys. So remember when Day-Day's brother got his head burnt up with the crown? Mm-hmm. That's exactly what Camilla looked like when they put that crown on. It was like a crown, and she was like, "Oh!"
Next up, the Vorpal sword.
It's a sword, so it could be, but I feel there's already one sword at the party. I feel like, how many swords do we need at the function? I'm gonna say D&D.
Correct. Forged out of a very rare bluish-green metal, famous for ability to hold a fine edge. Even after heavy use, the Vorpal sword is rumored to have cut off enemy heads in a single strike. Also, isn't Vorpal's sword, isn't that from a poem from like Rudyard Kipling? Oh, Alice in Wonderland.
Oh.
Okay. Lewis Carroll. Okay, well.
I didn't know that. I think I've seen that movie, and I didn't know that. Maybe I just read the book. She was doing drugs, right?
Yeah, she's on drugs.
It's like an LSD trip.
Basically.
You know what's wild is when I first did LSD, I've only done it once because I was like, oh my God, I can't do this ever again. But I didn't get no Alice. I just stared at a tree for 3 hours.
Maybe that's what you needed. She needed something else. You know what I mean? Sovereign's Orb.
Sovereign's orb. Okay, it's got sovereign in the title, so we're going coronation.
Correct. A gold sphere encircled with a band of gems. This baby is held by the monarch during their coronation in the right hand, and that's it. God damn it. That looks so fucking stupid.
It looks like my guy is walking around with a bottle of Chambord.
It looks... It looks
He's like, we taking shots after this. We're going to take shots.
Looks like
I'm pouring it up.
What a joke. What a joke this is.
And he looks so serious about it. And he got a Laker jersey on underneath. What are we doing?
Charles I had that orb made in the year 1661. Huh?
Wow.
That's a long time ago.
So old, that makes it good.
So old, that makes it good. The rod of rulership.
That sounds kind of sexy.
That's give me a high five.
The rod of rulership. It's another sword, though. I feel like it's got to be Dungeons and Dragons.
Correct. A jeweled scepter, wrought in gold and bronze. When held by a monarch, all must do as he asks without question. Oh. You can also use an action to present the rod and command obedience from each creature of your choice that can see within 120 feet of you. Each target must succeed on a DC 15.
Oh, so it's
Wisdom,
like the police. Okay.
Saving throw or be charmed by you for 8 hours. While charmed this way, creature regards you as a trusted leader. This game seems great. Here's my problem with Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay.
All right. So there's a dungeon master. It's a really important role that kind of guides the group of people playing through the story that they're telling. But like, it doesn't seem like you really win or lose or die, or you can't really beat the other people you're playing with. It's just
you can die, so then they like get up from the table.
And then they send you home. When you go down, what happens?
What happens is you get death saving throws.
Death saving throws.
You roll your d20.
You do your 20.
10 or higher, then that's a success.
10, 20,
9 or lower.
9 or lower.
3 successes means you're alive, but like you're unconscious. But
You're alive and unconscious, but stable. 3 failures, full dead.
So there's like a vegetative stated roll. You can come back like Jesus.
You roll
like a resurrection. If like anyone
a resurrection stone, and basically the dungeon master could be like, if Malcolm, if your character died and you started in the real life crying, the dungeon master could be like, oh wait, there's a resurrection stone.
That's literally
And Brian, the rare rap from stage right. And finally, the rod of equity and mercy.
The rod of equity and mercy.
It's a gold rod with enameled and gem-set collars and a gold cross supporting an enameled dove with outstretched wings.
Man, you know the monarchy be gaslighting the fuck out of us. This has to be coronation because they be going to African countries and letting them hoist them up and ride around and shit. Meanwhile, they ruin our fucking lives, bro. It's definitely coronation. And if I'm wrong, I'm gonna be mad.
You got it. A lot of emeralds, sapphires, and rubies.
I was hype about that one. I just stand up.
Yeah. Hey, Laci, you won the game.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Oh!
Thank you so much for being here. Go watch iCarly and listen to Scam Goddess. And if you're in LA, our Scam Goddess live show will be on June 22nd at 7:30 at the Elysian.